All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing that there's something that you've been moving towards for a while here, something possibly that you've been creating or that you've been hoping for. And this could be in your material world, or it could just have something to do with your foundations, how you see yourself, what it is that you're establishing for yourself long term. And for many of you, this may have to do with love, but for others of you, it could just be something that you're building through love, through your heart space. It's something that you genuinely desire, you feel really positive about. It makes you feel really positive about yourself, and it helps you connect to other energies in a really positive way. Now, I'm going to dive deeper into the tarot and kind of what's going on here. But before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. And if you would like a personal reading, I do offer personal readings as well. You can email me. My email's below in the description box. And if you would like to contribute your energy to the channel to help me manifest messages that resonate more with you, you can like and subscribe. But let's jump into it, Sagittarius. So like I said, there may have been something that for a while you were very passionate about moving towards. You were like, I can see the pathway in front of me. I'm just taking the first step, but I'm really jumping into it, and I'm ready to create something much larger than what I have right now. But in the current energy, it could be like things are moving slower than you were expecting or slower than you thought they would. And this could really be dragging you down or kind of throwing a wrench in your energy. It's like really upsetting for you. You could almost feel like betrayed by the universe in a sense of like, this was supposed to move faster, or I was supposed to accomplish more in a shorter amount of time. And you actually have quite a bit to celebrate here with your oracle cards being celebration, fighting, and trust. It's like you're on a right path. You've accomplished quite a bit. You're maybe experiencing a lot of positivity in your life outside of this. But it's very hard for you to step into that energy, or there's a lot of resistance to that energy with the fighting card because maybe you're not seeing the payoffs that you were expecting at this time. And Spirit's asking you with the Oracle card trust to fully trust the process, to trust yourself, and to trust that the universe is going to provide for you here, even if it takes longer for you to see the fruits of your labor than maybe you were expecting. Now let's dive into these energies. I want to see what it is that you've been working on, how that's been affecting you. It's something that really sparks your passion, something that helps you connect deeper to yourself, like I said. It may bring you a lot of joy. It may make you feel really confident, like you're on the right path. And also like you have a purpose for many of you, like there's a purpose for your passion. And I think that that's true. I love that. There's a purpose to your passion. Let's take a look at your passion here. You could have felt like you received this sort of divine insight into something that you could do. You had this idea, you had this certain recognition within yourself of, what if I just like went for this thing? And with the Queen of Cups coming out and the Temperance, it's something that makes you feel very aligned with yourself. It's something that when you do it, you think, oh my God, this is so me. This is great. This is exactly who I am and exactly what I'm meant to be doing. And so your energy kind of just naturally flows in that direction. And as soon as you start putting your energy in that direction, it's like you kind of just take off running. So it's a really positive energy that you feel. And it's something that over time, you feel like you could sustain, something that feels really healing for you. It could feel like engaging in this actually like heals you on some level. Like maybe it actually makes you feel better, or it actually gives you energy, or it makes you feel more loved, or something like that. And so you're like, yeah, of course I'm gonna go for it. And you're showing me that it's kind of about the long game in a lot of ways. It's a project that could either take a long time, or it's something you're saying like, I could do this for the rest of my life. Like I could commit my energy to this forever and I would be completely happy. And you're showing me that this also could have some type of payoff, that you're seeing it as maybe not being an end goal, but there's a certain point where you would feel established, or you would say, yes, I succeeded at this. I really built this up for myself. And you're showing me I can see that in my mind's eye. For many of you, this may have to be with like being known, or you could measure your success by being known, or how much other people support you, or patronize whatever you're doing, like give you money or give you material resources or just engage with you. And it's a little bit deceptive because this is something that really you're doing for yourself at the end of the day, even if it's something that involves other people or is for other people, like maybe you're volunteering somewhere. And you're thinking, yeah, I'm volunteering for the people that I do it for, or something like that. But at the end of the day, you're really doing this for yourself because it's something that you love. And so when you get kind of caught up in reaching that benchmark, or, how much are other people benefiting from this, it kind of pulls you away from your path, which is really about doing it for yourself. And so I see you kind of seeing in your mind's eye what success would look like for you and being like, okay, I just got to get started. I see you kind of being very much at the beginning of this journey, but getting possibly a little bit ahead of yourself. There's also a part of you that may not even fully realize that you are in the beginning of this journey. Because you put this kind of pressure on yourself to succeed, or you can see exactly what success would look like. And it kind of holds you back from fully experiencing this, and also from, fully moving forward, because you get kind of stuck in what the end result would look like rather than where you are in the present moment. And where you are in the present moment is you're just beginning. You're just starting out. You're embarking on that journey, but you're not meant to be at the end yet, because everything has a beginning, middle, and an end, and you're just in the beginning phases, and that's kind of how it's supposed to be. And so in your current energy, I feel you feeling kind of betrayed by the universe, or just by the process itself, or by the thing that you're doing, because you haven't maybe received what it is that you were expecting by this time. So maybe you're building a house and you're 3 months in, and you had this month by month blueprint for how much of the house you were going to have built in 3 months. And because you don't, maybe you're still where you would be, where you thought you would be in a month. And so you're kind of being hard on yourself, or you're being hard on the universe, and you're saying, I should have been further along. Either there's something wrong with me here, or there's something wrong with what I'm doing, or there's something wrong with the universe that I'm not where I'm meant to be. But that's not true. Wherever you are is exactly where you're meant to be. And so you also kind of betray yourself by getting stuck in where you're supposed to be, because you're not really honoring where you actually are. And with the celebration card here, Spirit's saying not only is it great where you currently are, or not only is it where you're supposed to be, it's actually really wonderful. It's actually really beautiful. It's actually a blessing. And so it's important that you kind of step into that energy of feeling really blessed and feeling really excited. You could almost feel like you're letting yourself down, or like this is just like such a huge disappointment that it's bringing up like other pain. Because you're so invested in doing this in a certain way, succeeding in a certain way. It could remind you of other times that you thought you failed at things, or other times when maybe people didn't approve of you, or just other times when your success didn't look exactly the way you wanted it to be. And you're kind of going back to those experiences in your mind and your heart. And specifically, this could actually have to do with a manifestation in the past that had to do with another person or another energy. And so maybe you were in a relationship with someone and the relationship went south, or it didn't pan out the way you thought. Some type of connection that you put all your energy into, that whenever you feel vulnerable, you might return to that connection and think about all the ways that quote unquote failed, or the ways that didn't work out. Maybe you relied on this person and now they're not in your life. So it kind of brings up old wounds, actually, because you're thinking like, well, I'm manifesting this, and just like back then, it didn't work out, or I didn't get what I was expecting. And so it just brings up all this other stuff. It opens up this whole can of worms, where, old wounds are being triggered because of this current thing that isn't working out for you. And you may not even be consciously like making the connection between the two, but for many of you, especially if this reading is really resonating for you, there is a past connection that your heart was involved in that there was some type of struggle to move on from that now is being activated because of whatever you're currently going through, even though the current situation is actually quite different. I see you holding yourself to incredibly high standards and having like almost an impossibly uh, high expectation for yourself. And every time you don't meet that expectation, you kind of self-flagellate. You kind of hurt yourself a little bit by being like, God damn it, Sagittarius, like, how could you not follow through on this expectation? Like, you failed again, you failed again, you failed again. And you almost have this like perfectionist kind of energy that comes through with everything that you begin, whether it's love, whether it's a project, whether it's what you're currently working on. And the lesson that is kind of meant for you to learn in this moment is that everything happens in divine timing, first of all, but also that you're in a constant experience of co-creating with the universe. And so what does that mean? It means that all you have to do is exist, and the universe will come and meet your existence with its own energies. You don't have to force anything into place. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. All you have to be is exactly what you are, and the universe is going to come and meet that. And when you stay in this energy of I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, the energy in the universe comes to meet your energy of I'm not enough with more of that feeling, with more things to validate that you feel that way. And if you start creating that energy and pushing it out into the world, you're just going to see more of that energy because it's what you're creating. And so Spirit's kind of pointing out to you, like, you have an opportunity here, and the opportunity is to heal the past, to enjoy yourself, to celebrate your accomplishments, or you can kind of kick yourself over the head and get upset and ruminate on the past and use your current endeavors to cover up your past wounds and not move forward and stay kind of stuck in that karmic loop. And for many of you, the karmic loop that you're stuck in is perfectionism, and it's just kind of rearing its head in a new way. And when we say, that everything starts with the self, we're talking about energies like this, where if you're really, really hard on yourself, that's an energy that starts within you that then gets projected outwards. Ultimately, that energy slows you down and it keeps you stuck within yourself. So you're trying to manifest something outside of yourself and you're looking at it and you're like, why isn't it happening? Why isn't it appearing very quickly? And it's actually because when you stay hard on yourself and you don't heal the past and you stay in these energies, you really block yourself from manifesting, and it's almost like you're staying in a cage within yourself. And you're meant to move about the premises. You're meant to move freely. You're meant to enjoy life. You're meant to celebrate. You're meant to savor it. You're meant to trust the universe. And ultimately, you're meant to move along your path, even with all the messy parts, even with the parts that don't look good, even with the parts that don't immediately mean success, all of that. And when you tell yourself that things have to go a certain way, or you hold yourself to a certain standard, you're not accepting yourself, and you're not seeing yourself as beautiful, and therefore you're not seeing what you have to offer the world as beautiful, and you're not accepting what you have to offer the world. And so you may not even realize that you're denying your own manifestations when you deny yourself, but you are. And so Spirit's kind of asking you to take a deeper look at that energy, to look at how you have approached past hardship. How have you approached what's possible for you? How have you approached what you're capable of? And if you've approached it with a sense of, I'm never good enough, or I'm never really going to succeed, that is something that needs to be examined. And for many of you, that's going to go back to a past relationship that you had, maybe in your childhood, maybe with a lover, where you felt rejected, and then you start rejecting yourself. Spirit's saying it's time for you to interrupt this pattern of rejecting yourself, this pattern of being hard on yourself, this pattern of rushing forward and then being upset that things haven't turned out the way you want. When you're building something significant, it takes time, but even outside of time, it takes a level of energy and consistency in your energy where even the people who seem to blow up overnight, there's a level of consistency to their energy where they're continuously putting energy into something and it builds up and it builds up, and then all of a sudden, boom, it manifests. And there's this need for you to interrupt this idea that anything's going to happen quickly to you, because even if it appears to happen quickly on the surface or in the material world, really it's going to be a culmination of positive energy that comes to the surface. And there's a need for you to kind of interrupt the scattered energy, the painful energies, the energies that keep you stuck inside yourself. This is in some ways, it's going to be a slow and steady process of the heart. You're showing me I'm feeling exhausted, and the more exhausted I feel, the more I have to rush, the more I have to head towards this. You're saying, like, I feel like I've been moving towards this. I don't know why it's not working out. And yeah, on the surface, that's how it's going to feel, is like I've been moving towards this and it's not working out. But like I said, there's a need to investigate sort of the underlying energies and what is going on under the surface that's trying to reveal itself during this process. Because you have this kind of back and forth thing where you rush ahead and you bring these energies with you, and it kind of brings you back to square one, and you never really feel fully happy or fully content because there's all this other stuff going on underneath the surface that kind of needs to be contended with. And ultimately, the point of being alive is to experience joy and to go towards the things that make you happy and inspired. And when you move towards these energies of I'm not doing good enough or why hasn't it happened yet, you're moving further away from the energy of joy and connection. Let's get 3 cards of advice for Sagittarius before we close out the reading. The advice is stop the pattern of confusion, of telling yourself you're not enough. It disconnects you from yourself, and reconnect to your joy, to what you love about yourself, to your ability to love the rest of the world, to love the process, to love the universe. And that's when you're going to step more into the flow and less into looking at everything that went wrong. Stop looking at everything that's going wrong and look at everything that's going right, and then trust. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope that it resonates, and I'll see you next time.